Hi, Fran. Great to see you.
Hey,
Congratulations on the new contract with Brighton.
thank you.
Initially, just wanted to ask, what was the conversation that led to you being in Brighton and ultimately staying in the WSL with the length that you've already been at Chelsea and the history you've had?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I wanted to stay in the league. I wanted to still be a part of the growth and still, be involved in it. And when I spoke to Brighton, and obviously my old teammate Maria, and I asked her about the club, it was a really exciting conversation in terms of where the club wants to go and the ambitions that it has going forward. And I think you can already see that with the signings that have already been announced over the last couple of days, where the club sees itself going. And for me, it was just exciting to hear that kind of passion come from a football club and to be part of another project, really, and come in as a bit of an older, more experienced player. And hopefully, I'm able to help those who are coming into the WSL for the first time or those who have been here. So for me, it was just more excitement and a feeling of feeling valued and wanted at a club. And for me, that's all I wanted.
Great. It's clear that Brighton obviously have huge ambitions in the WSL. Was that also part of the reason staying competitive and really keeping on form for yourself?
Yeah, of course. For me, I'm a competitive person. I'm a competitive trainer. I'm a competitive player. So I wanted to go somewhere where, I felt I could keep them standards up and help bring them standards into another club. And, when people were asking me at the end of last season, oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in the WSL? For me, I wanted to stay in this league because I still want to be competing week in, week out. And as long as I can help a team progress, then that's what I want to do. And when I spoke to the people at Brighton and they told me how behind the owner was of the women's game and how much they want to invest in it and push it forward and seeing the facilities here, for me it was a really exciting opportunity and one that I felt, I couldn't really turn down.
Lovely. And just lastly for me, we're coming into obviously the new season, but also a Euros year. Was that also part of the reason, like being so local, staying in the WSL and really putting yourself into contention to go into another Euros?
I mean, for me, I'd love to go to another Euros, but I will never base my decision based on in the future. For me, it was what's right for me right now and where I feel like I'm going to get the best out of myself. And, being close still to home and being at a club that really wants to push the women's game is something that I wanted to do. And for me, if I feel valued in a environment, then, I'm going to get the best out of myself. And when I spoke to Brighton and, they were so complimentary of me and as a player and as a person, for me feeling valued is one of the most important things as a footballer, and I felt that as soon as I spoke to them on the phone and got to know the people around the building. So that was probably my main reason behind it, but of course, I'd love to do everything I can to be involved in another Euros and help the Lionesses hopefully win it again.
Lovely. Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
Johnny?
Hi there, Fran. Welcome to Brighton.
Hi.
Just first up, what was your first impression when you came down and saw the setup down there?
I was really impressed. Obviously I came down and when you see the pictures on Zoom and stuff at the beginning, because obviously a lot of things happen when you're not in the building, and it looked good there, but when you come down and see the facilities and see everything that they're pushing towards the women's game, but also the accessibility you have to come into the men's building and use the facilities here, it's really special, and you can see why so many players choose to play for Brighton because of the facilities and the area. And I'm pretty sure I'll probably be living in the spa here every day, so I'm looking forward to that.
Obviously, the club have made it really clear that they want to push up towards the top four. How challenging is that going to be? And was that one of the big sort of enticements for you to try and take on that project, as it were?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, I've been lucky to be a part of a world-class team for so many years and to be able to be in that position, year after year. So I know how much you have to sacrifice and how much it takes to put yourself in a position to be in the top four, never mind, getting on to win a title. So hopefully, I can bring that experience to the group and show people, what I can do on and off the pitch and help build and grow. But the club's ambitions, what they've said is what they want to do, and they made it very clear to me that was the ambition when I spoke to them. And sometimes you hear clubs say it but you don't quite believe it, but I think with the way that they speak about the owner and they speak about the people in the building, you can see that it's something that they really want to achieve. And as long as, you have the right people around and the people who are willing to graft every day, then, there's no reason why you can't achieve them things. So, yeah, I mean, it is a project. It is going to be really tough. It's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take time to embed with the new players, get to know the new staff, the new coach, and, you go from there. But I think for the next couple of years, I think it's a really exciting time down here, and hopefully I can be a part of it.
You've obviously been so successful for club and country, but is there going to be a slightly different pressure on you, do you think, now you're going to be a Brighton Hove Albion player?
I think there's always pressure in elite sport, regardless on who you play for and regardless on what you want to achieve. But for me, first and foremost, I just want to get out on the pitch and enjoy myself. For such a long time, obviously, I've been part of a club that, the expectation is to win trophies because of the personnel that you have in your team. But for me now, I want to be in a place where I come into work every day with a smile and I'm happy around the, I've just FaceTimed Maria and she was nearly crying on the phone with me. So I think, she's quite happy that I'm here, and to have that reaction from someone who you're then going to come into the building with every day, that just makes me smile. You can see it on me. So I just want to be in a place where I come in every day, I feel valued, I'm happy, I'm smiling, I'm enjoying myself. And then, performances on the pitch will come as a result of that.
Well, I'm sure the Seagulls supporters will be very happy to see you here as well. So good luck.
Thank you very much.
Firstly, congratulations, Fran. I wanted to ask you, people talk about this gap in the WSL between teams like Chelsea and Arsenal and then teams maybe like Brighton who are sort of in this second category. Do you think that gap is going to close anytime soon? And do you think that's something you can be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, I think the gap is already closing. I think you see the likes of Liverpool with the incredible season that they had last year, and people probably considered them not part of that gap. But yeah, I mean, we all know, that, the top clubs in the WSL are there for a reason in terms of the personnel that they bring in, the funding that they have behind them, the salaries that they can pay. So for me, there's always going to be that kind of gap. But I think as long as you have the right people in your building and in your environment, you stand a chance to win against anyone. And we saw that last year when, Brighton went up to Man City and got a 1-0 result there away from home. And people probably saw that game as an easy game for Man City. So for me, I think the league is definitely becoming more competitive. But, there's always going to be the likes of the top teams who are able to spend this much money on their women's team to help grow the game and grow their squad more. But yeah, I think definitely that it's getting much more competitive, and it's not just you turn up to a game now and everything's easy. You have to be on it from minute one. And I think, like I said, with the likes of the signings that Brighton are bringing in, I think it's going to be a really exciting season for them.
Yeah, I hope so. And speaking about kind of spending on the women's team, obviously, one of the things that was really great at Chelsea was the connection between the men's team and the women's team. Is that something that you feel is the case at Brighton as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been walking around the men's building the last 2 days, going around seeing everyone, and, you can come in here whenever you want to have access to the spa, or, if you need help with something, it's very open. And yeah, I mean, it's a really nice, obviously I haven't met anyone, so I don't know in terms of when you meet the men's players what it's like, but, it really feels like a very family orientated club. And that's one thing, that they spoke to me about when they said we want to be, a big club in terms of in the Premier League and in WSL, but ultimately it's about the community and the community outside the club and inside the club, and making sure that everyone feels, as one. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, there's going to be some conversations with the male players going forward, and, I'm excited to meet them as well.
And finally, very quick one. Which of your former Chelsea teammates are you most excited or nervous about going up against? Or maybe Lucy Bronze, of course, now at Chelsea.
That's a good question, that one. I would have said Melly Leupolz because she runs so much and I wouldn't like chasing her, but obviously she's moved on now, so I can't use her anymore. But I never used to like running against her in training because she just kept going and going. Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I wouldn't ever really play against her, but obviously when Sam recovers from her injury, and I hope that, she's doing well with that. I've spoken to her a couple of times and I know that she's recovering really well and she's in a good place. So I'm looking forward to seeing her back on the pitch. But I think going up against her and knowing that she's going to be in your box is quite frightening, to be honest. I'm normally the one that's crossing for her to score. So I'm going to be just like everyone, mark her, don't let her go. So I think I would pick Sam.